Hi everyone, today we're going to continue practicing and learning a skill of cross-hatching, which is a shading technique which is great for you when we're using pencil or pen or even fine liners, of creating like light and dark shading areas or turning two-dimensional objects into three-dimensional objects. I just think it is a super important skill in becoming an artist. It takes a little bit of patience and practice. We don't always get it right the first time, but it is a skill that we can practice and learn and get good at very quickly, and I couldn't do without it. So we're going to practice it today with some more three-dimensional objects and hopefully get really good at it. So let's give it a go. Okay, so to start this task, we're going to need to draw multiple shapes. So I'm going to use a pencil just to sketch it out. You might want a rubber if you need a rubber. And I'm going to use, you can either use a pen or if you've got a fine liner. Last time I used a pen, so today I'm going to use a fine liner. Okay, so to start this, I'm just going to draw a range of random shapes. So put in a circle, but this time I'm going to actually put them sort of overlapping a little bit. Sort of here, there and everywhere. Let's put a tall cylinder in. Okay, something like this. Maybe a cone? Maybe a cone behind all that. Or maybe a cone coming in front. Maybe the cone's closer up. Maybe another ball behind here. I'm just going to freehand this one. And maybe one more cone over here. Let's make this a really wide cylinder, I should say. Let's make it a wide one. Okay, so we've just got some basic shapes here. Now, what I'm going to do is actually is cross-hatch these now to create sort of a cool little arrangement of three-dimensional shapes. So I'm just going to trace over them first, just so I know what I'm dealing with. Now, of course, for this exercise, it's really just a practice of a skill. So your shapes don't have to match exactly mine. You can arrange yours however you like. But we're just going to practice this cross-hatching skill of getting this light to dark effect. Now, if you find some of these extra lines a bit confusing now, of course you can just rub them out. Now, I'm going to draw this as though the light is coming from this angle. We're going to go the same this way. So everything on this side of the shapes is going to be lighter, and everything on this side of the shape is going to be darker. And I'm going to treat each shape in that way. So we can start anywhere, but I'm going to work left to right here. So I'm going to start with my cylinder. And remembering that when we shade a cylinder, we're going to have, I guess, a sort of a halfway point. There'll also be a shadow. A shadow comes from the bottom. It will have a curving edge because it has a curve at the top. And it'll come, imagine the top of here, something like this. In fact, this sphere will have a shadow. This cone will have a pointed shadow. And this will have a slight shadow underneath it, and so will this, although we won't see it because it's behind. So I'm just going to start this by just lightly going diagonal lines and just coming up to, I guess, that sort of halfway point. Okay, that's my start. Now I'm going to come from the other angle. and I'm gradually building this up. Now you can keep sort of moving your page if you want to. You might find that easier just to move around a bit, because I like to seek working towards myself. And now I'm going to come from different angles. For these long sections, I find it tricky to do one big line. So you can see I'm sort of doing lots of smaller lines, but just gradually getting less and less as I get a bit closer. Okay, let's do a couple more. This process takes a little bit of time and patience, but the reward is that you end up with a super cool picture that looks really effective. Okay, let's put a shadow in. To keep this really neat, I like to sort of build up the edges neatly first. So you can see how I'm just thickening out these edges. And then you can fill it in knowing that you're not sort of going to go over the edges. Keep these nice crisp lines. Okay, let's try this with, now we're going to do the sphere. So again, this time we're going to get not a line through the middle like this, like a cylinder or a cone, or this way. This time we're going to have a curved effect. I find it easier to almost draw a circle within that circle that comes right up to the edge, so that I get this crescent shape or moon shape around the outside, because I want to keep this gradual curving shape, not a hard straight line. So I'm going to start building this up now using these lines again. Okay, now coming from another angle. From this angle now. So from this angle. Okay, let's put a shadow in. Okay, let's do this less cone over here. So for the cone, again, we're going to sort of, a bit like the cylinder this time, we're going to create more of a halfway line. I'm just going to keep coming back and working on some of these. Can't help myself. Okay, let's go down here. Very lightly, just getting those starting lines down the middle. Okay, let's come from this angle. Okay, I'm going to come from this angle now. Being very careful here not to go over the lines. But gradually working into the middle slightly. Okay, come down this way. Okay, let's come from another angle. Come from over here. Keeping this edge nice and neat. I don't think I'm making it worse. Okay, now let's put a shadow on it. Coming from the bottom. This one will come to a point and it'll come back in there. Okay, let's keep this nice and neat. I'm going to do my edges first. Go in the same direction as the edge so I know I won't go over it. Come from this side. Okay, now we've got like okay. Now I'm going to finish these last two off. We've got a cylinder to go and a little sphere to go. So I'm going to finish those off and just complete my picture. Okay, let's try this sphere. Again, I'm just going to mark out a bit of a curving shape. Now I'm going to try not to hit this thing here. I've got a little trick for this. If I put my ruler here, and then I know I can't go over that line, it'll stop it. So I'm actually going to leave that there so I don't. So I can't go into that shape. Okay, let's put a little shadow underneath it. This will just have a tiny little bit just to come behind here. Okay, and there is a nice little family of shapes that now look three-dimensional. We've got cross-hatching from dark to light with a shadow, and using my cross-hatching technique with a pen, we now have a cool little shading exercise. And of course you can take this further now, because of course these are regular shapes and they could become anything. This could become an ice cream cone, or a soft drink can, or an apple, or a basketball, or it could become anything. So you can make ordinary objects look three-dimensional using just a pen. All right, it takes a bit of practice, but stick with it. Be patient, be persistent, have fun, good luck, bye.